I use Facebook and Google.
And Instagram.
Foursquare.
Twitter.
Omegle.
Vine.
Origins.
Flickr.
YouTube.
Kids. Meet.
And Steam.
Classmates.
And Tumblr.
Kids today are digital natives. And what that means is that they've grown up with the technology from a very young age. And what that makes us, on the flip side, is digital immigrants. So we can pick up the language, but we're never going to quite understand it the same way that they do. And what that does is it creates a digital divide, which is what parents are experiencing.
What we need to be aware of as parents and caregivers is that they are constantly 2 steps, if not 5 steps ahead of us with using the technology. Oftentimes they're doing more than we realize in that world, and oftentimes might actually put themselves in positions of getting in over their head.
I use Snapchat, Kik, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Pinterest.
I have like 400 friends on like Instagram.
375 followers.
On Facebook, we have 1,000.
600 friends.
Instagram, about 700.
Snapchat, Instagram.
I have between 600 and 700 friends on Facebook.
I have like 1,400 followers on Instagram.
Kik, Talk Life.
800 on Twitter.
Talk Life is another social media that you post something that's upsetting you in your life, and people just comment and usually help you.
I'm a middle school teacher. Between the 2 schools with which I've worked, is that about 25% of these students, and these are 7th graders, have stated they have gone and met somebody whom they first met online.
I do not know all my friends on Facebook.
I don't know all of my followers.
Even if the child tells the parents that they're in a math and science chat room, that they're talking with other students about particular problems and issues that they're having, they really don't know who they're talking to, who's at the other end of the computer. Where do you think predators go to find children, where children are going to be?
My 7-year-old daughter plays something called Bakery Story on an iPad. I looked at that app. Bakery Story has a message board, and my 7-year-old daughter has received messages from other people who play Bakery Story. Do you understand?
Today's job market, especially over the last 5 years, have become very competitive. Employers are looking for how candidates outshine other candidates. You'd be very surprised what people have online, or the pictures that they have online, or where their name is tagged to somebody else's Facebook online. That can very much affect their employment.
I get online like every hour.
Every hour of the day. 3 hours a day. Like 10 minutes of the hour every day. I start using social media at about 6:30 in the morning.
Last year, the average teen girl sent and received 156 texts a day. And that's just an average. Some are in the 300s.
If this is the reality of their world, this is the world that they're growing up in, they'll be working in, it's technology everywhere. How do you advocate for them? What do you do to help them have the skills when they're confronted with problems or issues to know how to handle it?
Google Omegle. Omegle, their tagline is "Talk to strangers."
Yeah, that's their opening. Talk to strangers. Chat Roulette is a website where you go on to the website and it activates your webcam. And on the other end, basically there's a pool of anonymous users, and your webcam comes on and everybody else's webcams are on, and you randomly are paired up with another person and you chat using text, voice, and the webcam.
Stranger is typing. I'm saying hi, what's up? I'm typing, do you like One Direction? So they say, hiya babe, 25 and female, ASL.
You don't know who you're going to get, and if you don't like who you're talking to, hit the space bar, you go to the next person.
I asked, do I have to answer that? So I'm offering a fake atmosphere to this chat. I'm saying I'm shy, and I'm gonna see what they say back. In a sense, it's a bait.
You can scroll through different chatters, but it connects people around the world instantaneously on webcam. It's called chat roulette.
Internet service providers are mandated by law to report any type of online solicitation that they are aware of, child pornography, child sex trafficking, incidents like that, to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Once those reports come in, then they do some research on the cases to see which task force they need to go to. Does it need to go to a Michigan task force, a New Mexico task force?
I have around 280 followers on Instagram.
I probably have like 100.
300 on Twitter. 400 friends on Facebook.
On Facebook, I have like 1,023 friends.
It's part of who they are, it's part of their lifestyle, it's part of how they talk and communicate with friends.
Grooming a child there's a lot of different grooming techniques. One grooming technique would be to introduce the child to this type of sexual activity in a manner in which they don't think that there's anything wrong, like a game. Playing model, taking pictures. Oh, you're a superstar, you're a supermodel. That's one way to groom a child, to make the child believe that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing.
One day I was on Instagram. I was looking for more followers, and this guy friended me, and his Instagram was private. The name was like Modeline something, and it had a picture of a model for the profile picture. So I was like, oh, cool, a modeling page. And when he requested me, I was like, okay, I'll friend this guy. And when his page was open, I looked at it, and it had nothing but child porn on it and a bunch of girls. The same day, I got a kick message from this guy, and he was like, hey baby, and I was like, do I know you? And he sent some inappropriate pictures, so I blocked him after that, and I told my dad, and I got a new Instagram.
They also trade grooming techniques. There's even a PDF presentation on how to step-by-step groom a child.
Of the 1,005 friends, I really know about 200 of them.
I have about 300 followers. I know none of them.
25% of the students I've interviewed have said that they don't see a big difference between meeting someone in person versus meeting them online.
I have met somebody online that I did not know. It worked out pretty well. I ended up meeting them in person about a year later.
People that are interested in children will either act as an adult, or sometimes, I mean, you can be anything you want to be on the internet.
The students always feel like they're safe online. Oftentimes they'll say they can tell when someone's lying to them. Their assumption is that no adult is going to be capable of doing that. And the truth of the matter is that the online predator uses that ignorance on the part of the child as a way of getting an inroad into the child's personal life and emotional life, most importantly.
This chat came up, and this guy with some really weird name just was like, hey. I was like, hey, do I know you? He was like, how are you doing? How's your brother? And it's weird because I didn't know how he knew my brother. I think he looked at my profile and found pictures of me and my family.
Forensic exam is when we'll take digital media, whether it be a computer hard drive, a thumb drive, even floppies are still out there, CDs, and we'll create a forensic copy of that, and then we'll use specialized software to analyze the data within the forensic copy. For our state alone, we executed 219 search warrants, and we conducted 1,067 exams.
You guys are starting with the iPads, right? The iTouch, those kind of devices, Droid devices. So you guys are digital natives, right? We'd like to ask you guys what it is you guys do online. Okay, and you?
Facebook.
Okay.
Talk to friends. Go on Tumblr.
Watch videos on YouTube.
Okay, and you?
Instagram. All right, Instagram. So who has 100 followers on Instagram?
Keep your hands up.
Who has 200 followers? 400? 500? 1,000? How many followers do you have on Instagram?
1,160.
Wow. Do you know all those people?
No.
No? Okay. So when you are allowing someone to friend or follow you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you're really allowing them into your life. You're allowing them to see what you do, where you go, who you are friends with, what your house looks like, what the inside of your bedroom looks like. So you're really sharing a lot of personal information with them. Do you know and trust 100 people? Do you know and trust 10? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. So be careful. I highly recommend that you don't allow people that you don't know to follow you. So here's the reason why. Say you take a picture, you take a selfie, right? You guys are really into taking pictures of yourselves, right? So you take a selfie, and say you send it to 4 friends. And you say, don't show anybody. You know, nobody else can see this. I just want to show you guys. Well, they're your friends, and they like you, but, I mean, this is a really great picture. So each of them just send it to 4 more people. And those people send it to 4 more. And at this point, these people on this outer ring, they don't even know you anymore. So they're just sharing it because it's a great picture, right? And so they send it to a few more people. And what's this called? Going viral. How fast does this happen?
Within 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yep. If even that sometimes, right? Millions of hits on YouTube. Millions of new followers on Instagram, right? Be careful. Who's in this group of people? Is it your soccer coach, your principal, future employers, college recruiters? We have presented this material with someone from our HR group, and she told the kids that she routinely denies employment because of what she can find out about people on Google.
Colleges and universities are also denying applicants right now. It's not 10 years from now, it's right now.
What would happen is, in many cases, you would interview a candidate and you would narrow that down to, let's say, 3 or 4 candidates. You search their name online and you find out what pops up. One of the growing trends right now is for employers to actually pay background search firms to do that for them. It's not only what you may put on your own site or what people may put on their site about you and name you specifically in it. It's the context, and you may be part of a conversation that goes very wrong somewhere later in the conversation. People will associate you with the whole conversation, or a conversation between you and your friends that you two may know what's going on, but if someone from the outside looking in, it may be taken very differently. I've had job applicants who actually have given me their connection to Facebook, thinking that they're going to go out there and see great things, and they don't realize that the night before their friend tagged them in something. It may not be exactly appropriate to be shown the public. And they had no idea, but because they didn't go check on it, now it's tagged to their name, and everyone in the world can see it.
Somebody has made a fake account about me, and it scared me.
Vine is like Instagram, but it's all videos. Snapchat, you take a picture, you can put a caption to it, or you can take videos and send it to people. There's people who post inappropriate things, like I don't want to see. After 10 seconds on Snapchat, it goes away, and you can't watch the video or view the picture after that.
The premise for Snapchat is that you can send a picture and capture a moment. You know, you can spin the dial from 3 to 10 seconds. That's how long the picture lasts, and then it's gone forever. Not true. The tool we want you guys to leave with is 3 words. Stop, think, connect. And I'm going to go back up. What's an example of stop? That's like when you have your mouse arrow over a link, and you guys know what a tiny URL is? It's that URL where it doesn't show the domain. If you click on that, you don't really know where that's going. That's a tiny URL. That's sort of a redirector. And that's the kind of stop moment we want you guys to consider, okay? And then think about that. Do I know where that came from? Is this an email I received at 3 in the morning from a friend who never emails me at that time? Should I click on that? If it's safe to proceed, you go with your gut and what the rules are in your house that your parents have set out, then you connect, okay? Another example is Instagram. Somebody wants to follow you on Instagram. That's a stop moment, okay? If it's somebody here at school, I would say just wait. Talk to them the next day, right? If they send you a follower request at 6:30 at night, just wait to talk to them tomorrow, right? And so you can see them face to face and say, hey, did you send me a follower request? Right? It's very easy to make fake accounts and, you know, to misrepresent somebody. So Stop, Think, Connect is our central message, and really that's the tool we want you guys to walk out of here with. You can always use that with your online activities.
We use it all the time. We use it as a tool to get our messages out and to communicate with parents for information. If we send something out on Facebook, we'll get a couple of hundred hits within minutes. It's pretty amazing.
The good part is definitely what students can learn from technology. You know, history in the making, that part of it is wonderful.
I use the internet to find resources to use in the classroom. I show them videos, give them resources that they can use at home to find extra things on their lessons.
Our teachers really try to use the internet and to use social media as a tool for learning and as a tool for educating the students. That doesn't always happen when the students have access to it because they prefer to use it for personal use, for entertainment, for communication.
They can use it for good things, but they can also use it to bully one another and to do things that they shouldn't be doing and connecting with folks they shouldn't be connecting with.
So geotagging, what's geotagging?
You post something online and it shows your location.
Yep, exactly. So geotagging is exactly what you said. You post a picture, you tag where you were. What you might not know is that this information goes into the data of the image. So that data will stay there regardless of what media you choose to share that image through. So maybe it's Instagram, then maybe you choose to email it, any variety of ways. All anybody who has access to that image has to do is look into the data of the file, find the latitude, longitude. We all know how Google works, right? A simple search. Now maybe your 1,000 followers know where you live.
I believe that students are used to getting constant stimulation. They're used to things changing quickly. With a click, they can go to another video. With a click, they can read another post.
It takes a whole lot more effort on the teacher's part to try to maintain the youngsters' attention. So you're basically trying to give them information in sound bites and information like Instagram.
It's hindered the children's ability to communicate. They're removed. They don't have that ability to have the simple day-to-day interactions with people. They see somebody at school that they like, instead of going up and trying to make a friendship with them, they go on the internet and they type it. Instead of actually having that face-to-face conversation. You'd rather sit there and text being like, did you get my text? Well, yeah, I'm sitting right next to you. Why couldn't you just tell me?
People don't know how to interact with others in real life, but they do better with a screen in front of them. It removes the social aspect of it, yet it's still social.
There's been a huge change. The kids are carrying around smartphones. They have access to the internet 24/7. The access to the information is great. We have resources that we never could have dreamed of just a few years ago. We've had students be email pen pals to children in Chile through our Spanish class, and that's not something they could have done without the internet. And then there's the dark side of having that access.
I think most young people aren't ready for that much information to be readily at their fingertips, and some of it's just not appropriate for their age. You know, in 6th grade and they have iPhones and they're readily connected to Facebook or to any of the other media sites, Twitter, Tumblr. All those sites are just filled with adult topics. Kids aren't ready for those things.
They are being confronted beyond a shadow of a doubt with pornography. I hear examples of it constantly, just everything you can imagine. And children are seeing it oftentimes through the most innocent searches.
And the creepy thing about Snapchat is no matter who they are, they could look up a username and find you. And just send you random pictures, which that has happened to me. Inappropriate pictures, like bad pictures. Nude pictures.
When you have a bunch of emotional adolescents and teenagers using technology without enough guidance and enough boundaries and that kind of thing, and that causes problems.
They're in a mindset that it can't happen to me. too smart, I'm too savvy, no one would fool me. And I think that's a mentality that teenagers have had for many, many, many years, whether it's the internet or anything else.
There's been like older men who have followed me on my accounts, and it was pretty scary.
They get into the dark alleys, and they get into the dark alleys fast. Our kids have a minimal level of education on ethics and on all of the really rough stuff that can happen on the internet.
All right, who can tell me what Ask FM is? All right, what about you?
Ask FM is a website where you can ask people questions, and a lot of people use it to send hate to each other.
Yep.
Ask FM is when people ask you questions anonymously, so they can ask you any question they want to, like your age.
Ask FM is where users can ask other users questions anonymously. A lot of bullying, an incredible amount of bullying.
Right, so you get a 13-year-old who has a profile on Ask.fm, and then other students at their school will ask questions anonymously. So they'll go to that user profile and then post a question, and then the Ask.fm member will answer. But the key there is the anonymous question, so that allows inappropriate questions, right? Inappropriate questions are what happens when there's no consequence. Anonymity means less or no consequence.
So Ask FM will receive the following info: your email address and birthday. I'm going to try to skip it. Ask FM/Taylor Tompkins.
That was fast.
Well, that's fast.
That's all about the instantaneous.
I don't know what these are. They can't be on my profile because I just created it, but here are some questions. For example, why are you such a slut?
That's question number 2. That's like a stock question, maybe?
Perhaps.
You guys know what the FM stands for? It's the Federated States of Micronesia. So that website is sourced, it's held. Those web servers are in a country that has no rules.
Oh, wow.
So that content, anything that goes on Ask.fm, wide open to whoever admins those servers.
They have that feeling of anonymity, you know, even though that information's out there for thousands of folks to see, because they're sitting in their bedroom typing things into a device. I think they have this misconception that they're anonymous.
Whatever you post is there forever, and it goes to everybody, and even if you want it to go away, you could take it off your site, but it's already on everyone else's. I've seen instances where a kid will leave a school because of something that was posted and they can't get out from under it.
I've had kids come in very upset, very depressed, very distraught because something they posted or something that got posted about them has spread in a way that it's not contained. They've lost control of that image, that information.
It's the speed with which that information gets out that's pretty frightening.
When we look at the issue of cyberbullying, the biggest factor we need to be aware of as the adults right now is the complete lack of containment around this behavior. And the reason we see, sadly, tragic outcomes with children taking their own lives or children just struggling with this issue is because they have a sense of there's no way to contain this. Once it's out there and it's spreading, I have no control.
In the past, somebody may have called somebody a bad name in passing, and then they were able to work it out. Now that information is getting out and it's going viral on the web. They're sharing things with, you know, thousands of people within a 5-minute time span, and it's much harder to reel that back in and resolve those issues.
If you want to say something to somebody, it always should be in person. If you can't say it in person, don't say it online.
It's also the time spent. I was having a conversation trying to figure out why this child wasn't finishing his homework. So we started talking about it, and him and I figured it out. He spent over 25 hours a week, and that's after school. On social media sites, he spent less than 2 hours on homework.
During passing period at school, I take out my phone and check my messages. When I go to sleep, I always check for more. When I wake up, the first thing I do is see if there's any new messages.
From the time I wake up at around 6:45,
I get on social media about 3 hours a day.
To the time I go to bed around 10:30.
I just scroll through in the mornings and during the day when I'm bored just to see what everybody's doing.
They can hide their Facebook pages, they can hide any source that they're on. And I think the parents really need to monitor the use of that and how often it occurs. And there are students that stay up to 3 or 4 in the morning on Facebook, and that's detrimental to their health and to their education.
Parents don't really understand the technology that their kids are using, so it's hard for them to really grasp what's going on.
I have 2 children of my own, and when they got old enough to enter the world of social media, we said, okay, but we have to have your password. We have to be able to get onto your site at any time that we want.
Our kids are changing with the culture, and as professionals, we have to change as well. Kids are always 3 steps ahead. Educators, as hard as they try, will never be up with the kids and the kids' speeds.
I don't think that parents fully understand how dangerous it is and how easily folks who don't have any business knowing about what their children are doing, how easily they can access that information.
I think sometimes parents want to very understandably protect their children and say, well, I'm going to do everything in my power to shield you from it. I think all bets are off with that at this point. Kids are accessing technology in all these different ways, they're going to see it. So I think you approach it as a parent from the standpoint of, again, not if, but when you see these things, how can I be a support? If you see something that's extremely concerning or upsets you, are you comfortable enough coming to me? If not me, who? Who can you talk to in the family? What adult would you be comfortable speaking to about these things?
It's important for the adults in the students' lives to know more about technology to help guide them. Not just parents, but teachers as well, and any other adults that they come into contact with, just to help guide them along the way, help them to make good, safe decisions.
Things look very different in their world as they grow into adults because it's a completely different form of communication. To kind of pull them back to the way things used to be and have them do it with the way we're all used to, it's unrealistic. We need to meet them where they're at, and if this is the form of communication that they're using, then we need to figure out how to build those skills in with that as a factor in it. We can't take away something that's already become an established means of communication or part of their reality.
The information superhighway is a place where you can go to amazing vistas and look over the human history. You can look at the many creations, art, technology, but also you can take the wrong turn off the information superhighway and go into the wrong place, a dark place.
Sometimes you find out too much.
I have seen things that I really didn't want to see.
Sometimes things can get very dark on the internet.